Work with you,
Yeah, I was
bro.
pretty happy about it too.
I mean, when you were telling me the story, I'm like, okay, this has got to be a teaching. As I'm getting older, so many teachable moments, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And I'm still learning stuff every day.
Every
Every day.
day. New stuff, new rules, people flipping this stuff. I just learned how to matter of fact, we're going to start making offers on listed short sales to try to see if they'll take a subject to stuff. So it's always something to learn, you know?
Listed short sales.
So if they got a house listed with a realtor, we're going to go in and try to negotiate. It ain't going to be easy, but listen, you're already asking for a short sale. Maybe we could just take over your payments, you know?
Oh wow.
I got a friend that suggested that the other day.
Hmm.
This is cool. Real estate roundup, homies. Good afternoon. Greetings, class. Greetings. It is an honor to hang out with you one more time. One more time. As everybody gets chimed in here, I got to send these things out. I got a million notifications has to go out, Steph. One sec. Is this the same house that we talked about a while ago?
Yeah, yeah. That was when I was evaluating the deal
Mm-hmm.
and whether or not to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Smoking deal. I got a guest coming on too. She just had 7 cancellations on her Airbnb. So
Wow,
I think we have
wow.
to, yeah, we're going to have to shed some light on what this coronavirus is doing to the real estate industry as well, you know?
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I didn't think about that, but yeah, it's
You
hit
know,
the travel
huh?
industry pretty significantly.
You know, it's weird stuff. I had 2 cancellations, right? I didn't even, you know how you just working and grinding and you're going about your day? I
Yeah,
didn't even relate it. I didn't even relate coronavirus cancellation trap. Now I see. So
yeah,
people are really canceling their anyway, I guess it's happening. So
yeah. It is absolutely. I mean, every facet of the travel industry is being affected now.
hmm yeah. Roundup family, thank you for joining us. This is Chris Haskins. My mission and my ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. In doing that, I get to hang out with some amazing people. My inner circle member, Stephanie Hanshaw. What up, Dope?
What up, man? What's up, Roundup family?
It's always good to see that beautiful smile. And I got a chance to see you in person last week. That was out
Yeah,
of the ordinary.
that was good.
Yeah. How was that? You know, I had to leave early. My wife. Anyway, you had to leave. I had to leave early. How was the remainder of the training?
Oh, it was good. Uh, Learned a lot of good stuff, particularly on private lenders and setting up your own Roth IRA and self-directed accounts and what you can do with those things. Man,
Something.
it's amazing.
Something. You know, it's weird. I had my IRA since 2006, but that's actually how we started doing business. You actually used to be one of my lenders, Steph.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I guess switch went on. You said, man, shoot, but you were already doing real estate though. So I don't round up. I don't want you to think that you can transfer from a lender to a full-time investor,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I was already heavily into real estate, but
Yeah.
was sitting on the sideline. After 2008 hit. Yeah,
That's something.
yeah,
Well, it's always good to see, you know, for me, when I was getting in, I teamed up with other people so I could kind of say, okay, I see how it works. I see that. Boom, let's take action.
absolutely.
That's kind
Yes,
of what you were doing.
yes.
Stephanie, so today, the other day we met, you told me you had just did a smoking deal roundup. To the purpose of this training today was just to share with you, Stephanie. I don't know how he did it, so we're gonna find out. He bought a house subject to. So you bought it subject to,
Yes.
and you negotiated a discount on the second on the property.
Yes, on the second on the property. And
Okay.
this is a 5 bedroom, 2.5 bath property that's actually right around the corner from where I live, man.
Wow.
And very nice neighborhood. And Yes, I bought it subject to. The previous owner was just going to walk away from the property.
Tell me about how you found this one, Steph, or how did this come across your radar?
Actually, it was a friend of my wife's that she was a friend of the previous homeowner. So my wife's friend talked to my wife and said, "Wow, this lady's going to just walk away from her house and allow it to go into foreclosure." So my wife said, "Hey, you need to talk to my husband."
Not unusual. Happens every day.
Yeah, happens every day. So yeah, I contacted the homeowner directly. She told me her story. Her husband had recently passed. This was a property that she didn't live in. She was renting it. And this was a rental property for her. So she decided that I don't want to do this anymore. So she was just going to let it go back to the bank. And that's exactly what she told me. She said, "I'm just going to let it go back to the bank because I don't want it. I don't want to be a landlord anymore." So I said, "Hey, let me see what I can do." And was she willing to work with me? And was she willing to sell it to me for what she owed on the house? And she said, "Absolutely."
Did you now tell me a little bit about your approach when she said, "I'm just going to walk away"? What were the magic words that you used to her to walk her down to a subject to deal, Steph?
Well, what I said to her was, "I think I can help you out of your situation." And that's what this business is all about. We're in a people business, and we're in the business of finding solutions. And that's what I was after. Actually, is just to find a solution for her and to help her out of her dilemma.
I love it. I love it. I can help you. So you didn't go in there as a greedy investor. I want to just steal your house and me.
Absolutely not. That kind of approach doesn't get you anywhere.
Nowhere. Get you nowhere. Okay, so you told her, "I think I can help you."
Yes, I think I can help you. And I advised her that, "Hey, I think you should avoid the foreclosure if you can. And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you avoid the foreclosure. You don't want a foreclosure on your record." So
nice.
And that's how we started the conversation.
She goes, "Okay, what's that about?" Now, what does she owe on this one, Steph?
Well, she owed $200,000 on the first mortgage.
First, $200K. Second.
And the second, because get this now, because she had not paid on the second for over 4 years.
Wow.
The accrued principal and interest was at $106,000.
Second, 106. Now, I'm presuming the first was current.
The first was current, yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What is this house worth, Steph?
The house is worth $314,000. So she didn't have a lot of equity in the house, as you can see.
Got no equity.
Hold
on, did you say 340 or 340?
No, the second was 106, not 106.
Oh, 106. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
So as you can see, there was not a lot of equity in the house, and that's why she was so willing just to walk away from the thing.
306.
306, yeah.
ARVs 340. Yeah. So in our world, that's no equity.
That's no equity. Right. But my plan wasn't to go in and dump a bunch of money into it. My exit strategy from the beginning was to lease option it.
Lease option. I love it. Why is that, Steph? Well, before you answer that,
okay.
I feel like I don't want to take credit for it. I'm just saying, I feel like have brought you to the lease option world. Now, have you always been a lease option guy? And I'm not,
no.
I'm not. Tell me about your backstory. You're a rental guy, right?
Yeah. All my properties have been historically rental properties. And I saw one of your videos one day. I'll give you credit. I saw one of your videos one day and you said, "Hey, why are you still renting properties?" and your video was about lease option, and the light bulb just went on. It just clicked, and I said, "Yeah, yeah, no more phone calls about the toilet is broken. And, my hot water heater is not working. All the landlord calls that you get routinely." And
Praise
so
God.
that's how I started lease optioning properties, and I haven't rented one since.
I cannot wait. I'm busting at the seams round up for you to hear this story because I don't know the story, but I'm presuming Steph is going to have a lease option tenant. I don't know. I'm sure it's coming though, Steph. I'm so excited for you.
Oh, I've got all lease option tenants. My last two deals were lease options, and I
Nice.
have one rental property left, and that's turning over in the 1st of April. And guess what? That's going to be a lease option.
Steph, you too much. Praise God. I mean, I feel like, wow, man. I'm just excited for you, brother. When
So
I
I'm
see
excited,
people,
man.
I'm like, I've been where you at, dude. I'm like doing repairs. I'm just like, anyway, I can't beat it in people's heads no more. So, roundup, I got to do this stuff. If you're just joining us, I'm hanging out with Stephanie Hanshaw. He just is doing a subject to deal. Got a $60,000 discount on the second. And I'm presuming he's going to have another story for a tenant buyer. I hope it's going to get real juicy here in a few minutes.
Yes.
All right. So they owe 306.
Yes.
House is worth 314.
Mm-hmm.
Your exit strategy is to do a lease option tenant buyer. Tell me about that thought process.
Well, because there's not a lot of equity in the property, and the property was in really good condition.
Good condition.
The only thing I needed was to replace the carpet and to replace a few cabinet doors in the kitchen and one of the bathrooms.
Gotcha.
And that was it. That was all. Everything else was good. HVAC was fairly new. The roof was good on it. Structurally sound. A lot of storage space.
Nice.
Five-bedroom house, over 2,600 square feet. You couldn't. It wouldn't work out any better for a lease option deal. You just. I mean, it fit like a hand in a glove. That this should be a lease option deal. It was screaming lease option. So,
well, you got to get in it first. I want to hear about Roundup. If you've got a question for Stephanie on how he put this deal together or any other moving parts, make sure you get your questions in the chat box on the left. Steph, tell me about the monthly payment on this thing, as is.
Oh, as is, the monthly payment is on the first is about $1,200.
All right, the first $1,200 total. Give me total.
That's principal, taxes, insurance.
Okay, $1,200. And what's the second?
And the second, I didn't, and this is part of the caveat to the story. If there was one thing I would change, I would be a lot more clearer on exactly what the second was and how much the monthly payment was. I had an estimate of the second monthly payment, but because she hadn't paid it in 4 years, she really didn't have an idea of what the monthly payment was.
No doubt you had the authorization to release to talk to the lender.
Oh, absolutely.
Verify that. Was it so far behind that it was just off their record or their radar or something?
Well, it wasn't off their radar, but when I talked to the bank the first time, because she hadn't paid in so long, I negotiated a $250 monthly payment with the bank.
Okay. Well, now, how did you come up with this stuff? I mean, I feel like your engineer brain. You're working these numbers. I know how you're.
Well, I looked at what I thought I could lease it for.
Okay.
And I looked at what the first monthly mortgage payment was, and so I said, "Look, well, if I'm going to make this cash flow the way I want it to cash flow, then I want no more than a $250 monthly payment."
Tell me, okay, so the first roundup, this is so juicy. The first is 200,000.
Yes.
That the 1,200 a month includes taxes and insurance.
Yes.
All right, so that's PI. 30 years.
PI included.
Okay. PITI roundup: principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Yes.
It's 30-year term on this.
30 years. Yes.
How many years left? Is it a new loan?
No, it's not a new loan. She's got about 20 years left on it.
So you're walking back in time, roundup. This is why buying subject to is my favorite way to buy.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking back in time on the amortization table.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
the ramifications are just huge.
And
Go.
just a point here, yeah. On the second, the reason that there was no equity is because of all the principal and the interest that had accrued because she had not been paid.
Mm-hmm.
So the original principal was only $70,000 for the second mortgage.
Oh, okay. Wow. So we got 40,000 in
Yes,
arrears and all this.
yeah, nearly 40,000 of that 106 was accrued interest and fees and late fees and all that other jazz.
How old was this second step? Did they originate these loans at the same time, or you think they got it later?
No, the second became much later.
Gotcha. Tell me about the conversation you had walking in to this bank. Did you go in? Is this a local bank, Steph?
Yes, it's a local bank. I never walked in the bank.
Okay, you didn't. You called them.
All of this was by phone.
And the release.
And for the $250 payment, I actually got the homeowner to negotiate that for me.
Tell me about this conversation, Steph. I feel like you're a Jedi man. You're a Jedi master.
No, not really. I talked to the homeowner. Like I said, she was a older lady. Her husband had just passed in 2018, and I asked her if she would call the bank to clarify exactly what she owed and exactly what the bank would do to work with her. And I told her that in order to make this deal work for me, the maximum monthly amount I wanted to pay on the second was $250 a month. And so she called her bank and she actually asked for a $250 monthly payment, and the bank agreed.
Unreal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So are you saying that we don't know what the bank will do until we ask, Stephanie?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When I get to the rest of that story, that you'll see that is absolutely true. You do not know what the bank will do until you ask them.
Such a sweet deal. Roundup. If you're just joining us, I got Stephanie Henshaw here going over a subject to deal, bought it subject to on the first. He's negotiated a $250 payment on the second. House is worth $314. He owes $306. This is where we are in the story. All right. Where are we going next with it? Get your questions in the box, Roundup.
Okay. So next, when she told me that she had negotiated a maximum $250 a month payment, I knew the cash flow would work for me.
Which was what can you rent this out for, Steph?
So I'm renting it. You could rent it out for as much as $2,300 a month. I mean, this is
wow, nice.
and that's conservatively, but I only rented it for $2,050 a month.
Oh, you're a nice guy.
Well, I should have did a lot more research on what the rents were going for a 5-bedroom house. So it's not that I'm a nice guy. I just didn't do my homework.
You were so excited. I would have been like, man, I
didn't do my homework thoroughly. So if I had done my homework, yeah, I would be at $2,300 a month rent. But it is what it is. The rent is $2,050.
Okay.
That gave me a $600 a month cash flow.
$600 a month. Yep, cash flow. Now, do you want to talk about your lease option first, Steph, or we're going to talk about this loan? Which one do you think we should go over first?
Well, let's talk about the loan.
Is that what you did? How did you do it? I guess chronologically. You tell me.
Yeah, chronologically, the loan came first.
Okay,
Chronologically, I'm sorry, the lease option deal came first before.
This is where you're at here.
Final negotiations on the second.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Steph.
So the lease option, I decided to do the deal.
Okay.
Which was subject to.
All right.
We closed around the middle of December.
At these numbers.
At those numbers, yes.
Which at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like you got a slam dunk here.
I did too. I did too. And that's exactly why I did the deal. The numbers worked.
Gotcha.
The numbers worked.
Okay. So this is where we are. You got your lease. Tell me about your lease option.
So as I was, even before I closed on the deal, I started advertising the lease option on Craigslist and Facebook. And it costs you nothing. Either one of those platforms. Either one costs you $0. So about 3 weeks later, I had a lease option, a tenant buyer, just from Craigslist and Facebook.
Did you get tell me about the calls that were coming in, Steph, just to paint a framework for people that think they're just going to get 1 or 2 calls.
Oh, no. I got a lot of Facebook messages through Messenger on Facebook before I found the right one, the tenant buyer. You know, people, and I met several people there, and they just didn't have the down payment. And I wasn't about to let it go for nothing down and just move in. I was looking for a bona fide lease option tenant buyer. And so, I met 2 or 3 or maybe 4 people there, and answered a lot of text messages and answered a lot of Facebook messages telling them, you know, no credit check, no bank qualifying, reasonable down payment required.
Reasonable down payment. I like that.
Reasonable down payment required. And that's what I said in my Facebook ad. And when people see no credit check, no bank qualifying, and a house of this nature in this neighborhood in this condition, wow, it brought out a lot of people.
Steph, let me ask you, just for my rounduppers, do you have any pictures on your computer there you could share? We could just take a look at it.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
Let me figure out how to do this now.
All you gotta do is go at the bottom. You see share. Well, I can't help you get the pictures up.
Yeah. Let me bring up the pictures right quick.
Okay. This is, oh man, this should go down in the record books. Why are you doing that, Stephanie? Why did you put? You didn't say I wanted 5,000 or 10,000 in the ad. Why didn't you do that?
They may be willing to put down more than 10,000. So that's why I didn't put a specified number.
I like it.
In the ad itself.
I like it. Reasonable down payment.
Reasonable down payment. Okay.
I got some super chats coming in. I will answer all super chats first, round-uppers. The super chat questions will get answered first, and then we'll do all that other Q&A at the end after the keynote.
Okay.
Right now,
I thought the pictures were still on Zillow, but they're not. So
they're gone.
So I'm gonna pull up the pictures directly on my computer.
This is a sweet deal. Roundup, if you're just joining us, Stephanie is looking for the pictures to pull up on this 5-bedroom, what is it, 3-bath?
5-bedroom, 2.5 bath.
2.5 bath house.
Yeah.
I wish that was around here. That's a rarity around here. Okay, well, we tried that.
Yeah, because I had to use Chrome.
Yeah.
I had to use Google Chrome. It wouldn't take Safari, which is the Mac's browser.
I know, yeah. Yeah, Mac lovers.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Tell me about this. Tell me about the conversation with your tenant buyer, Steph.
Okay, well, with the tenant buyer, when they came over, husband and wife, really nice folks. And once I heard the wife say, she told her husband, "I've got to have this house."
Ooh.
Once she said that, I knew it was sold. I knew that the
that.
game was over.
Do what she say.
When the lady says, "I gotta have this house,"
That's a rough one, bro.
So I mean, I didn't have to talk much after that. And I was gonna put new carpet. I was gonna replace the carpet and put new cabinet doors on.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to see another one of your videos that said, if you're lease optioning properties, why are you fixing them up? To lease option them as is. I mean, I didn't have to do a whole lot to this property anyway.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that, I said, well, okay, let's try this. I'm not gonna replace the carpet. I'm gonna show it as is. And I showed it as is, and they fell in love with it. So
oh my goodness.
With the lease option, I explained to them I was looking for a down payment and what the monthly payment was. They were cool with that. I only collected $14,000 down payment.
14.
Yeah, that was before I went to LeGrands training. But 14,000 is good. So they gave me the 14. They were cool with the $14,000 down payment.
Mm-hmm.
They were cool with the monthly payment.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did the deal. We did the lease option deal. And
I think I've got some pictures here, Steph. I found that email you sent me. Is it 2119?
Yes. Yeah.
You care if I share these pictures? This is going to blow you away.
Absolutely.
Good Lord. This is just a round up these deals. I don't want to say that they don't come around every day, but you need to jump on these when they come around.
Yeah.
What made you say not going to do repair stuff? I know you saw my videos, but a lot of people see the videos and they still do repairs, So what made you say, so you did nothing to this house?
I did nothing.
Is this it?
No, that's not it.
That's not it? 2119? I got the wrong address. Creek Bottom. Hold tight. Sorry, y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Is that another one? Creek Top? That's not what we're looking at?
Creek Bottom. Creek Bottom with 2 words. Creek Bottom way.
Creek Bottom. Oh, shoot.
I looked on Zillow, but they've taken the pictures down.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see what I got. Creek Bottom. I see it here. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Creek Bottom. Quest. Yeah, they did take the pictures down. Remax. Sorry, y'all. Just bear with us. We're trying to get you some pictures so you can have a framework of what Stephanie. All I have is the Google view, Steph. I'll just give them that. Is that the one with the red truck in the front yard?
Yeah, I think no.
Let me
that
see.
might be the house next door. Let me see what you're. This one. No, it's the house next door to it.
Over here?
Yeah, that's it.
Let me see if I can scroll in some. Nope. Can't get down there.
Well, if you look at the house next to it, it looks very similar. Very similar to that.
Man, this is
in just as good condition.
Cul-de-sac. You at the end too, Steph.
Yeah, into the cul-de-sac. So there's no traffic at all. And that one right there.
Which one? This one here?
Go back. Yeah, that one's vacant. And I'm trying to buy that one as well.
That'd be your next deal. Why not?
Yeah.
You grinding stuff. Wow. So they had your tenant buyer had 14,000. Tell me about that conversation, Steph. I want to hear about this down payment. Did you say? Well, what do you have? How did they?
Well, when I talk with tenant buyers, I explain to them that this is not a rental situation.
Mm-mm.
They are putting down the down payment with the intent of purchasing that property, and I make that clear. And I make that clear. That's what a lease option is all about. It allows you to get into the property. relatively easily, but that down payment secures, their right to purchase that property, and it prevents me from selling the property from under them. So that they get the right to purchase that property, and we do that deal, we do that lease option, we execute that agreement with that objective in mind, is for them to purchase that property.
What terms did they want, Steph, regarding how many amount of years did they, or tell me about the negotiation on the years? Did they say?
They didn't say. They were willing to accept the terms that I had put forth. And
oh man,
and
you were gentle, no doubt. You were gentle.
No, actually, I wasn't gentle. No.
You're like a hornet wrapped inside of a marshmallow.
Yeah. See, I told you, I learn every day, man. I learn every day. I actually proposed the 5-year option deal for them. So I gave them 5 years. But that rental amount in for 5 years, which, that's not the best for me, but it's better for them. They know their rent's not going to go up for the next 5 years.
Here's where us Americans, now I want to paint this picture for you, Stephanie. Only in America are we I hear your voice kind of going down as you're talking. I feel like, Steph, follow me. $600 a month times 10, what's that? 70. You're getting $7,200 a year.
Yeah.
You got 14,000 down.
Yeah.
Your principal reduction goes down every month.
Every month, yes.
You got a solid buyer.
Yes.
I don't see the bad day. I'm just like, where are we not so happy?
No, I don't want to come across that I'm not happy. I'm ecstatic about this deal.
Only in America.
It's just, I'm just pointing out some minor things I could have done better. That's all.
I got you. I'm giving you a hard time, man. I'm like, some people aren't getting. Anyway, okay. So this is a smoking deal. When have they moved in, or where are they at?
Oh, yeah. They've moved in. Yeah, they're in there, satisfied. Love the house.
I know they love you, Steph.
I talked to the tenant buyer a few days ago, actually last week, and she said, "Wow, I really didn't realize how big this house was."
What is it? How many square feet?
It's more than 2,600 square feet.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So,
what was your sales price on your option, Steph? You sold it for what?
I sold it for $310,000.
And this principal will be going down every month. I don't know what it is, but every year you're getting
every year,
reduction. I mean, you're making money, dude. Steph, you're making money on the pay down and cash flow, brother. I think you're in a pretty good position. Pretty daggone good position.
Yeah. Why would you not do this deal, right?
No repair. Rounduppers, stop doing repairs. I'm telling you, people, they want to make it. Well, let me ask you, Steph, when you said no doubt, they asked, were you going to do anything? Did you have the conversation?
Oh, yeah, they asked. Yeah, it wasn't a long discussion. They asked me if I was going to do anything else. I said, no, I'm selling it as is. Thus the $310,000 sales price. I said, I'm selling as is. I'm not fixing the carpet. I'm not doing anything.
And they were like, what?
And they were fine with that. Like I said, the house wasn't in bad condition.
Mm-hmm.
It was in good condition and clean, and it was, with the exception of at least for myself, with the exception of the carpet, it was in moving condition. And, those few cabinet doors that it could have stood replacing. I mean, they weren't in bad condition. If I were going to sell it on the market, I would have replaced the cabinet doors.
Or if you were to rent it to a conventional renter, would you not?
Yeah. I would have done it too. If I was going to rent it in a conventional fashion, I would have replaced the carpet.
So we're talking what, $5,000 to get it ready, maybe?
Probably about $5,000.
You probably, I mean, would you have to paint it too, Steph? I'm thinking.
There was some minor painting that had to be done, but I didn't have to go in, like wholesale paint the whole house.
Gotcha.
But I would have done some touch-up painting. But yeah, I would have put about $5,000-6,000 into it.
Yep. No money roundup. I hope you are receiving this. This is why I'm so passionate. I'm just passionate about financial literacy in these lease options. You do not have to do the repairs. There is a million people out there looking, or millions of people that are looking to be homeowners. And Stephanie is probably one of the few people that were able to assist them. No doubt they've been looking for a place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She told me. She told me they were looking for a new place. So they were actually, this couple, the husband, he was actually a business owner. So they were living in an apartment. They had moved up from Charlotte about a year ago, from Charlotte, North Carolina. They were originally from here, and they wanted to relocate back, and they were looking. They were looking. So they're out there. The buyers are out there.
Yes,
I'm convinced the buyers are out there.
So now you're a believer.
Yeah.
It does take a little time. It is a mental. Well, for me, obviously, I wasn't doing lease options at the beginning, and neither were you. It took me a while to say, you know what, who in the heck is going to move in this thing like this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then I'm presuming that you got some people that looked at it and were like, well, we want you to do A, B, C, D in order for us to move in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You get those too, but
yeah. Mm-hmm. But I made it clear. I'm selling it as is.
Okay, so the icing on the cake roundup. I can't let you go yet. The icing on the cake on this deal. Go ahead, Steph. All right, so with tenant buyers in, you're cash flowing, take over the payments. You got the deed, insurance, blah, 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 blah. Now, what happens next?
Everything's wonderful. Everything's wonderful. But there's still this little cloud of that second mortgage hanging over my head.
What do you mean by that? I mean, you got a payment of $250.
I got a payment of $250, but
was that interest only, or were they amortizing it?
Yeah, they were willing to amortize it.
Man, you got.
But here's the catch. That's what the previous owner negotiated with the bank, and it was a second. Although they were willing to do that, the fact that she hadn't paid on it in more than 4 years. It still was a cloud. I wanted to clear that up, and to be perfectly honest, I should have cleared it up before I finalized the deal. But anyway,
why do you say that, Steph? What makes you round up? Please listen closely here. This is what's blowing my mind. Hit it, Steph. Why are you saying you should have done it before the deal?
Because I was taking on some risk, not having full and complete assurance as exactly where that second mortgage stood. It was at $106,000. I knew that at $250 a month, that would take a long time to pay off. A long time to pay off. So I wanted to get that settled. Actually,
okay. You just want to get that.
I just wanted to get it settled, and so I called the bank up, and I said, "Look, will you take something less than the $106,000 she owed on it?"
Walk me through this, Steph. I need to know, because you can't talk to anybody. You have to talk to. I mean, how did you approach? I want to know the approach.
Well, the approach was to call the banker up, and I know, and the banker had actually, in a previous conversation, had actually said, "Hey, look, since the previous homeowner was no longer the property owner, they could foreclose on it." That was a conversation she had with me. And although I knew that it wasn't likely that she was going to foreclose on one because they were in second position, and they would have to pay off the first position $200,000 before they could foreclose. So I knew that it wasn't likely that they were going to foreclose, but the fact that that banker was mentioning that to me, that was the cloud that was hanging over my head, and I didn't want that uncertainty.
A little pain.
I didn't want that uncertainty or that possibility. So I call her up and I said, hey, look, the previous owner was just going to walk away. She wasn't going to pay you anything. Now, what can you do for me to help me get this cleared up and get this debt or this property cleared off your books? And I told her, look, if I'm going to get a loan, I need time to get that loan in place. And so she actually was willing to work with me. Really nice person to work with. And so she said she would give me, I asked her for 60 days to get another loan to refinance and get that loan off their book. And she actually gave me 90 days. And she said, if you can get it done in 90 days, I'll drop the $106,000 mortgage to $65,000.
Wow.
And I was like, wow.
Was
Okay.
this a fast, like a 5-minute thing, Steph? Or was it like she had to go get the file?
No, this was a decision she could make at her level.
Wow.
And so, this was a 5-minute conversation.
That's gangster.
And so I said, okay, I'll take that deal. And so at the time we had the conversation, the 90 days ran out at the end of March, or, around April the 1st. So I said, I'll take that deal. So I went out, I found me a lender.
Gotcha.
And who was willing to refinance that second mortgage over a 30-year term. Nice. So I was like, okay, good. That puts me in a great position. But before I called the banker back, I said, I've got to ask. Going back to what our previous conversation, if you don't ask, you're not going to get it.
Got it.
Right? If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. So I called her up again and I said, hey, look, I've got $20,000 cash for you right now if you would close this deal out.
So you made that offer. Let me read. What can you do to help me clean this up? I love that. What can you do to help? I love that. Man, Steph, you're a master.
So she had already offered the 65. So
that's where we started.
I counter offered. I said, I'll give you $20,000 cash. We can close this thing right now. I'll bring it down to you. Wow. And I think that kind of took her back a couple of steps because there was a long silence. And she was like, I just can't do that. I just can't do that. So I said, okay, well, I could, if you reconsider, I got $20,000 for you. I'll bring it down to you.
So this is how long before the first initial 65 to the second conversation of the $20,000 that you offered them, Steph?
It was about a week.
Okay.
It was about a week. So she said, I just can't do that. I said, okay, well, I tried. Well, a week later, I call her up again. I said, look, I've got a lender. They're going to refinance. I can get this thing closed quickly before the end of March if you can take $40,000. And again, that was a long pause. And she said, let me call you back.
Okay.
And I knew that she couldn't make that decision for that kind of discount. She had to talk it over with whoever her manager is.
Gotcha.
So
you offered 40. Okay.
About 20, 30 minutes later, she calls me back and says, do you think you can get closed pretty quickly? And I said, yes, because I already had the lender. And in my hip pocket. So I said, yes, we can close quickly if you can take the $40,000. And she said, okay, you got a deal.
Wow, man, $40,000.
So you're talking about somebody really happy what
were you thinking? I want to know what's going through your mind, Steph, as you're listening to this banker tell you, I'm going to take $60,000 off of the loan.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to think, actually. I couldn't believe it, number one. And number two, the banker was really good to work with. And that shows you how much they do not want property. Banks don't want houses. They don't want that. All they want is a performing loan or to get a non-performing loan off of their
Off the books.
And so she
Man.
reduced the original loan from 106 down to 40, which is a $66,000 reduction. But here's the good part. Here's the good part. That's immediate. That's immediate. $66,000 worth of equity in that property now.
That's for you, right? Because you already got it sold for $310.
Yes. Yes.
Sale price.
So a good deal gets even better.
Wow, man. It's unbelievable stuff.
That goes to show you, if you don't ask, you won't get it. And I can't tell you how many times I said in my own mind, it ain't no way she's going to accept $40,000.
As you were telling the story, I didn't believe it.
I had to ask.
She ain't going to take that. I'm so glad that you do not live by the conventional wisdom, my friend.
Well, me too.
So 40,000 discount. Help me now, Steph, for my rounduppers, frame this up. We're already at 50 minutes. We got to get to Q&A. Is this a Wells Fargo, a Bank of America? Frame up the lending institution that you were dealing with.
Yeah, that's good. I was dealing with a regional bank. That's regional to this area.
A little smaller.
Small bank, yeah. So I could get to the banker. I could kind of establish a rapport with the person who was making the decision, and it helped to know exactly what you were talking about, because during the course of our conversations, several conversations, I kept pointing out. I said, look, you don't want to. I'm trying to avoid you having to go through a foreclosure process, because that's going to cost you time and money, and you have to deal with that first mortgage. So, I mean, that all strengthened my position, and it helped that that banker understand that, hey, I knew what I was talking about, and I had done this before. So that helped her to know that she was dealing with an somewhat experienced investor, and not somebody who, just
fly by night.
Or fly by night, yeah. So
I guess the conversation you're telling them about the first, no doubt they would have found out about the first. I mean, they might
knew about the first.
Okay. So she knew about the first. Were you bringing these facts up as you were negotiating with the bank?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I brought these up in the course of our conversation. Yes.
That's sharp stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, I give my hats off to you, man. You just did this is a phenomenal deal, Steph. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Round up, get your questions in for Brother Stephanie. We're going to knock them out real quick. We've been on here for 50 minutes. God, wow. What a juicy story. It was so juicy. Man, so now, Steph, you went from being kind of excited selling it for $310, which you did those people a good deed. You didn't jack it up. Right, you get to keep. Let me ask you, who keeps all of that discount when you go sell it on the back end?
Oh, all it goes into my hip pocket.
Hip pocket national.
As long as the man says hip pocket national bank. Yeah, I mean, that's what made a good deal even better, was that that $66,000 discount on that second. That's instant equity in the house. That's instant equity.
Excited for you, man. Round up, get your questions in, and don't forget, get your tickets to the summit. Ron LeGrand is still giving me a slight discount for the summit tickets. Are you coming out to Vegas at the end of the month, Steph?
Yes. I'll be out there.
Las Vegas. I'm putting the link in. I forgot to put the link in. Ron LeGrand's Great American Real Estate Summit. Put the link round up if you want to join. Steph will be there. It'll be fun. So fun to see you, my friend. Join us in Vegas at the end of the month.
It's an honor to be on your talk show here.
Cool, isn't it? We've come a long way, right, Steph?
Oh yeah, long way.
I'm just like, you're sitting in the seat. I just couldn't believe. I remember when I had Ron LeGrand, I'm like, is he going to show up? And he showed up.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Round up, get your questions in. Stephanie, I'm sure will be happy to answer the questions as he always does with me. Shay, hey, what's up? What's up? You're giving me motivation and the knowledge to become an investor. Praise God. Praise God. Good for you. Good for you.
Good deal. Yes.
Salute. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you, loyalty. Anybody know Shay Bay wants to Shay, where can she get some investment money, some investment capital? What do you recommend on that? Steph?
There are a lot of good websites. There's a website that has a list, and
what is it? Private lending, maybe?
But these are hard money lenders. These are hard money lenders. I am now trying to raise private capital, having just returned from Jay Connor's conference.
Yep.
So private capital is a lot better to deal with, but there are a lot of private lenders on the web, that lend for the purchase and the rehab if you need the rehab. So, but again, they are hard money lenders that has harsh terms, and then there are other lenders that have slightly better terms. One I just found, actually found through Connected Investors.
Nice.
Which has a whole list of lenders as well.
Well, Steph, for you, my vision of you is that you're professional, you're trustworthy, you have integrity, you've got a background from being employed. I would just think that people would have no problems with loaning you the money. I don't even see. I feel like you'd be the perfect person that people would loan money to.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I just started really looking for private capital.
Gotcha.
Which is, like I said, I'm really late in the game in terms of looking for private money. But I should have learned from you all those other years. But raising private money is definitely a whole lot better.
Gotcha.
A whole lot better. And like you said, if you do what you say you're going to do, then you are a person of integrity, then yes, I think it's easy to find people who are willing to lend you money.
Yeah, I feel like you're like a perfect person to people to do business with. Bay Area, thank you so much for your love offering, and make sure round-uppers put your state where you're at, or your state or your city, so I know where my homies coming from. I'll put the link in the video description so you can join Ron LeGrand, me, and the Wolf couple, and Stephanie. I'm excited to see Stephanie with me in Las Vegas at the end of March. Come on out to the Great American Real Estate Summit with Ron LeGrand.
Yep.
Godfather.
Yes.
I have a similar transaction. The ARV is 480 and the seller owes 60. Wow. How can a sub 2 work on this deal? Bay Area. Yeah, those type of deals, you got too much of a spread. Well, I'll let Steph chime in before I chime in. What do you think, Steph? Somebody owes if it's worth 500,000 and you only owe 60. Why in the world am I going to do a subject to?
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it would be an absolute miracle if you could convince that seller to sell that property to you for sub 2 when there's that much equity at stake.
Yeah, this is not happening. It's not happening.
I don't know how that could happen. That's just too much of a spread. Yeah, you're talking $420,000 worth of equity.
The only way I could see it happening is if you give them a bunch of cash and then take over that 60.
Yes.
Let me repeat that. So you're going to give them 400,000 cash and then take over that first. Other than that ain't happening. That deal's not happening. I hope you don't. Bay Area, do not ask them to take over the payment unless you're going to give them some money. You might get hurt on that one.
Yeah.
They might not like that one. Yeah, that's his name, Stephanie. That's it.
That's it. Believe it or not, that's it.
So, Shabay, do you need a wholesale contract and a lease option for it to be a contract? Well, you can explain that real quick, Steph.
I'm not sure.
She wants to know, do you have to have a contract? I guess she's not understanding, or Shabay, he or she, not understanding what the lease option is, if you want to give them a 30-second picture of what a lease option is.
Yeah, well, in a lease option, I have two transactions, and one is the lease, just like if you were just going to rent the property, and it's a lease agreement essentially. And then I have a second agreement, which is an option to purchase agreement. So that second agreement specifies, the term period, how much they put down as the options payment or the options consideration. That's what they put down. That's the down payment I was talking about, and that's what that second agreement lays out, is what they have to do in terms of the option to buy.
Nice. Got that, Shabe? Jamon says, great speaker, Steph. Great speaker.
Thank you.
Victor, when you buy using a lease option, are there any closing costs, or is it only closing costs for subject to? Yes, no closing costs on a lease option. You're not buying it.
Yeah. Not on the lease option, but when you buy subject to, yes, there are closing costs.
Mm-hmm. Just for information purposes, Steph, what did it cost? I mean, I know it wasn't cheap. What closing costs? Because when you bought this one, no doubt you had to pay grandma's closing costs too on both sides.
Yes, I paid all the closing costs, so no money came out of her pocket, and that was $4,000, a little bit, few dollars more than $4,000 to close.
Gotcha. It's still a good deal, man. I would have bought that deal any day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Frank, hey, can you subject to an FHA loan? Absolutely. I don't think Stephanie cares of who originated that. Well, let me ask him. Do you care, Steph, who originated that first loan?
No, not at all.
They don't care.
Not at all.
And is there a way of explaining what a wraparound mortgage is with leaving the word wrap out of it? You don't explain that to the seller. You just get the attorney, get them to sign it. They don't even need to be explained what it is. It just says here. This says I owe you.
Yeah, I don't think the sellers would ever understand what a wrap mortgage is.
No. All you're doing is digging a grave. Shabe. Oh, if it's a lease option to buy, would it be almost like renting, where the first person pays the last month's rent? Well, she's talking about buying on a lease option, which you did not do.
Buying a lease option.
Buying using a lease option. You bought it.
Buying using a lease option.
I don't want them doing this stuff. Yeah.
No, that's not what I did. I didn't buy the property using a lease option. Yeah. And quite frankly, I haven't done that yet, Chris. I don't know about you, but I haven't done that yet.
I have. I don't want to get into it right now. I mean, we could go on and on for that, but I would suggest you buy subject to. Would you suggest that, Steph?
Oh yeah. I would definitely suggest buying subject to.
You get to write it off. You get to depreciate it. You get the interest. I mean, so much.
Yeah. There's a lot of benefit to buying the property.
So yes, it is closing costs. Y'all did that. Royalty. Hey, we have the same situation. The attorney nor does the homeowner understand lease option. You need to fire them.
Yeah.
How can we help the family with a $218,000 mortgage? What's our best option? I'm not understanding that one.
Well,
Go ahead, Steph. I'm sorry.
It sounds like there's a $218,000 mortgage on the property now.
It says home is worth $218,000. The mortgage is $172,000. That's the subject to right there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's subject to.
Yep.
If they're willing to sell, subject to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way I would do that one. Shabe, who are you closing with? Did you use the title companies or to close this deal, or attorney or something, Steph?
I use a title company, mine, your best friend.
Okay.
American Escrow and Title.
He's got an attorney on file. Yeah. Good for you. Tony, she just got here. How far? Hey, Tony, we're going to see her in Vegas. How far was the seller behind, Steph? Good question.
The seller was current on the first mortgage, but like I said, the second mortgage, she hadn't paid in more than 4 years.
Okay, so the motivation was on that second then.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Tony, the seller was only behind on the second. The first was current. Absolutely incredible content. Yes, Stephanie is the man. Stephanie's the man. I promise you. Do this. Larry, I tried to pull it up. Oh wait, yeah, we saw it. Y'all saw that address. You see a student. Absolutely, Stephanie's in my inner circle. No more toilets. That's true.
I like that. No more trouble.
Is any portion of Shabe, is any portion of that 14,000 being held, Steph? Other than being held in your hip pocket national bank?
No. It's only held in my hip pocket national bank, right?
Shabe, I think they're scared.
Here's the
You're
thing.
the engineer. If anybody's more technically could be scared, would be you. So break it down.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not risk averse, but I do like to analyze all the risk before I finalize any deal. But look, the $14,000 down payment. Look, I'm not going to go out and buy a new car or something. I am going to hold that in reserve because you never know what might happen.
At least some of it, right?
If the tenant buyers, if they default, then I'm going to have to carry that note until I can get a new tenant buy-in. That may be a month or two. So you need to hold some in reserve to make sure that you got yourself covered.
Yep. Brandon, how do you gain access to the inner circle? You got to email me. I can't. Obviously, the price is nowhere close to what I charge older members. Stephanie's been with me so long, but just email me, chrisbuyshouses@gmail.com. We just went over that. Does the 14 go towards the mortgage, or is that just a fee? You can hit that one, Steph.
Yeah, the 14,000. I mean, it as a down payment, but technically it's an options consideration fee. So you could. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad thing to pay down the mortgage because the more, and I'm preaching to the choir, but the more the principal shrinks, the more years you cut off of that note. So yeah, a good idea would be to pay you some of that 14,000 to pay down the mortgage. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Cheryl, hey Cheryl, she's looking for a subject to in Southern Cali. Oh, do you have any suggestions? I don't. Yeah, we're in Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Tony, how would you compensate a realtor that brings you a subject to deal?
Good question. That's a good question. I would work out some compensation with a realtor because they are doing some work to bring you that tenant buyer.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, everything's negotiable, and it'll be up to you to negotiate with that realtor what compensation you're willing to give them.
I would say this depending on the deal, Steph. Right? I mean, if it's a $500,000 house and 3% of that is what, 15,000. I mean, give them a few thousand. I'm sure they're happy.
Yeah.
From $100,000 house, I mean, $500 because they're getting nothing.
But I wouldn't give them the standard 6%. That I'd negotiate something lower. Yeah.
There you go. Javar. So after the 5 years is up, Stephanie did this 5-year lease. I've done 8 years. It's as I get older, it doesn't matter how many years you give them, Steph.
Right.
You can get 30. They're gonna either buy it or they're gonna just keep paying you.
Right. That's right. So when 5 years are up, that means their option period is up. So they have to either buy it or move out. And or there's a third option. I could give them more time on that option.
That's what I would.
I mean, those are the three alternatives. So if they're not ready to buy, and they might choose to move out, well, that just means I do it all over again. This time, the options consideration is not going to be 14,
20-some, 30,000.
Yeah, it's going to be something more.
Poor Stephanie has to go out there and collect another non-refundable deposit.
Yeah.
Sometimes feel guilty.
Yeah.
But you get over it quickly. Wait till you hear this interview with Ron. I didn't tell you. I did a full interview with Ron LeGrands in person, right? My team is editing it now. It is going to blow you away.
Wow.
Blow you away. It's coming. Hopefully it will be ready this Saturday, 8:30.
Oh, cool. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, man, it's going to blow you away. I wanted to stay here for a minute before I go. Don't forget, Stephanie has a discount on that second. And all of mine, when the option runs out, Steph, you can do nothing and just keep getting rent. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. You can extend the option period. I mean, you can extend it another 5 years, 2 years, whatever. It's up to you. You're in control here.
there you go. I like being in control, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. I always put, oh, he's saying, any questions? Oh, here we go. Larry Taylor. Chris, where is the $600 a month cash flow coming from? So your payment, Stephanie's payment is
Yeah, the total payment is
$14.50.
$14.50. Yes.
Stephanie's payment is $14.50, and his rent is what?
The rent is $20.50.
$20.50. So we just ballparked it at $600, Larry. So his rent is coming in is $20.50. His payment's $14.50. That's his cash flow from the tenant buyer. Javar, hey, the cash flow comes. Oh, he's answering that one. Renee, hey, is it true that the banks have insurance on the 2nd and the 90th day of delinquency? They are paid in full and will give you a discount?
I don't know.
Don't know that one.
I don't know that either.
Sorry about that. That's above me, above my pay grade on that one. Round up, get your questions in, answered by the man. Just close the deal. My sister, Red Sox fan. Oh, that's a statement. I'm kind of confused. How did you negotiate a lower payment for someone else's loan? That's a great question. That's a good question, Steph. Hit it.
Well, the first time I actually asked the homeowner to go
That's right.
and negotiate with the banker a $250 max monthly payment. And then the second time I talked with her, I had the power of attorney on that property, and I also had the information release form. So the banker knew that I was working with the homeowner and had the homeowner's full concurrence to talk anything related to that property and her loan.
Nice. So they knew that.
They knew it, yes.
Options trader Dan, hey, what is the balance of the original note? And what was the balance that you assumed it, as well as remaining years on the principal note? Well, some of that. Go ahead, Steph.
On the original note, it was the balance on it was $200,000.
I think you're talking about that second stuff.
Oh, the balance on the originals for the second was $70,000. And when I assumed it, because of the delinquent interest that had accrued, then the total was up to $106,000 on that second. Okay. So although she had only borrowed $70,000, the total payoff was now up to $106,000.
And options trader Dan, he said the first was 10 years old. 10 years old.
Yeah, the first was 10 years old. Yeah.
Abundant Lady, did you do an inspection, Steph, before you bought it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't do a formal inspection. I walked through and looked at the property. Even looked under the house. Had an amazing crawl space, so I didn't mind going under the house.
I love them tall. Was it tall?
Yeah, tall crawl space, and they even had poured a cement slab. Now, get this: a cement slab under the house. The crawl space is so tall, and they converted part of the crawl space into a little storage area. So fantastic.
Deal,
I went in there and I did my own inspection. I didn't have a formal home inspector come in.
I mean, probably didn't even have to there. For what? What are you gonna do? Someone ain't gonna do nothing, right?
Right. If you're willing to walk away from it and let it go to the bank, she's not gonna fix anything. So
thanks, no. Brittany, we went over it earlier. Wow, look at that hairdo. She's sharp. Where did you find that lead? Brittany Smith wants to know.
Because a friend of my wife, and my wife told her that I buy houses. So my wife told her friend, who told the homeowner and I got in contact with the homeowner directly. Word of mouth is how I found that lead.
Gotcha. Word of mouth. Somebody wants the link to the. Where's the link to the? Then put that link. Sorry, y'all, for my discount. I think it's only $100, but it's still a discount. Round up. Here you go. Here's the link to the Great American Real Estate Summit. We will all be out there chilling. This is where the investors hang out. I got my boys, the Barrevo brothers, coming from Brooklyn. Wait till you meet these dudes, man. 300 units they have. Get your questions in for Steph. I'm just imagining you talking to this sweet old seller. No doubt she loved you. You got her to call the bank. I'm like, Steph, you just something, man. Would you mind calling the bank? Would you mind? Too much, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. She was a very sweet person.
Options Traders Dan wants to know, how did you start doing real estate deals? Or how did you start doing lease purchases? He's in Florida. Hey, Options Trader Dan.
How did I start doing lease purchases?
Yeah.
How many do I have on lease? Well, right now I currently have 2 properties on lease, about to do a third one. As I mentioned, I'm rehabbing another one. That's going to be a flip for me. Mm-hmm. And I just sold one that, I essentially flipped the contract. But I've been doing this since 2000. And prior to 2008, I probably bought and sold maybe 30.
Wow.
And I have had as many as 14 rental units at the time.
That's why your hair turned gray.
Before 2000, yeah, before 2008. And then when 2008 hit, I just went and sat on the bench, which I wish I hadn't done that now. I wish.
What do you say?
I wish I had stayed in the game and not sat on the sideline, because I feel like I lost a lot of years there in real estate investing.
A little nervous.
Sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, it was rough. Shit was rough back then, bro. The links in the video. The link for the Great American Real Estate Summit is in the video description, rounduppers. How are we doing this? Ray says, how are your lease option payments taxed regarding the income step?
Well, it is taxed. I have the property in a trust, and my LLC is the beneficiary. So
smart man.
I have to report that income.
It's just rent.
LLC.
It's just rent, yeah.
Yep, just rental income.
Fred T, can a seller, that's being you, refinance after you have the property on a contract for a certain price? I don't know about that one.
Does he mean me?
I don't know.
In this case?
Maybe he's saying in general. Fred T, I don't get that one.
Can a seller refinance after you have a property?
Maybe he's saying in general.
I guess he means in this case.
In general, maybe he's saying.
After you put a property under contract, can the seller refinance that property?
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Well, if you have it under contract, you think you can sell it?
Well, the lender doesn't know he's
under contract. I guess that's what Fred means.
Like, he's thinking that his seller is going to refinance before he buys it. I don't know.
If you have a executed contract on that property,
the bank don't know what you got on the contract. They're gonna do the deal. If the seller goes to the bank, they're gonna do the deal. Unless you record. That's why I always record it. That way you got it on record.
Yeah.
Eskeet. I guess I'm saying that right. How do you sell a subject to when the tenants are ready to qualify for their loan?
You just sell it just like you would a normal property.
Same thing.
Yeah, because when you buy it as subject to, your name is on the deed. Whoever name you buy it in. So that is your property. It's your property, just like any other property.
There you go.
So you can sell it, do anything you want to with it.
Do whatever you want.
Yep.
I like that. Do whatever I want. Corey, when you're doing subject to, how do you get the money to get the payments current?
Yeah, you either
Cash.
have to have it in your hip pocket, in your bank to get the the payments current, or if you know a private lender or somebody you can get the money from.
I'm going to have Fund and Grow on here tomorrow, so you'll see they're going to do some business lines of credit for you guys. It's another way you can do that.
Yeah.
But you're going to have some money. Because even if you don't have to bring the payments current, you still have to buy it. And as you can see, Steph spent, usually it won't be $4,000, but it's going to be several thousand because you have to pay the seller's closing costs.
Yes. You pay both sides.
That's right. Henry, I just found out what subject to a few days ago. Good for you. Wake up. Wake on up, bro. Henry, wake on up, bro.
Yeah.
Born to Miss, very informative interview. Way to go, Steph.
Thank you.
Victor, is it hard for a new investor to buy a subject to in a market where prices are 300 to 500?
No.
People losing houses every day. I promise you.
In fact, I like subject to for new investors because you don't have to come out with a $30,000-$40,000.
They ain't gonna do it. They're gonna try to go get a loan. You know it, Steph. How much have I been preaching this stuff? Loyalty. Oh, what's your best option? Mortgage. We told you subject to on that one. That's the guy from earlier. Loyalty, royalty. Mortgage.
Oh, yeah. Subject to.
And tell them, listen, this is how, in order for me to do this deal, be stern with these people. You see, Steph didn't, you never heard him say, well, I asked her and see if she, you didn't come in there like you were nervous or you were begging. You're like, look, I'm going to do this deal. This is how I got to do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what you can do. Yeah. You know what you can do. And that's what you present. Look, if you can't do it the way I can buy it, then okay. Then I can't help you. It's on to
and that's okay. That's okay, though.
Yeah.
I think you and me are just old and grumpy. We don't really care. I'm like, look, this is what I can do, man. I got a guy today. I'm like, look, man, the only thing I can do for you is this.
Yeah.
All they can say is yes or no. Yeah. I'm almost hoping that I'm like, I don't even want to do. I'm like, I got enough to do.
No is a real answer.
I'm thinking of you, Steph. I'm like, Steph, you got enough houses. You got no doubt enough life going on where this deal ain't gonna kill you if you don't do it. I think the problem people run into when they go to see these sellers and this aura, the posture is like, I gotta have this deal. That's where you get murdered, man. You get chewed alive. Jerry, how do you file your taxes when you're the owner of a subject to? I love this one. My audit.
You file your taxes just as you would on any other property you own. Again, subject to, when you buy something subject to, you own the property. Your name is on the deed. So yeah, you pay taxes just like you would on any other property you own.
Same thing. You pay yep. And when you get audited like me for the second time, the auditor wanted to see I had to bring my trust in because they were like, who is this 45-7 trust? Who is that? Why are you writing off taxes? So you better keep your trust.
Right.
Storage space under the home. A few more and then we're going out of here. Stephanie, what are you doing this full time? People want to know.
Yeah, I am doing it full time. Like I said, when 2008 hit, I sat on the sideline. But all the time I've been working. So as Chris alluded to, I'm an engineer, retired from our Virginia Department of Transportation. So I was there 31 years, retired 2 years ago. So yeah, since 2018, March 2018, I've been doing this full time. Nice.
Okay, I got to get out of here, Stephanie. Final thoughts, my brother Stephanie, people for newbies getting into the business, Steph. I just want to know, what are you recommending for my Roundup family that are people that are kind of scared to take that jump? Make sure you subscribe, Roundup. Hit that subscribe button and that like and that hit that thumbs up.
Yeah, I always say, don't be afraid to invest in your own education, your own learning.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't overemphasize that enough, especially if you're a newbie. The only way to learn is to hang around people who have done it, who are doing deals, who've been in the game for a while. Absorb as much as you can, read, and then read. You know, that's the way to learn, and invest in your own education.
Yeah, brother.
That's what
Cool. Okay, round up. Thank you so much for your time. Stephanie, thank you for your time. I'll see you in a few weeks, and I'll probably be talking to you. But round up, get out there, invest in yourself, and I'll see you in Las Vegas. Go to that link below to join us at the summit. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. All the ball is going to be out there. I promise you. All right, Steph. See you in a minute, bro.
Be blessed, Roundup family.
God bless Rounduppers. Peace.